too long didn't watch a review of the V-Train shoes. Personally, I think they're overly engineered with pointless additional lacing and all that kind of stuff. They are possibly the comfiest ones that I've had. These are closer to trainers than they are barefoot running. Possibly more style than function. You know, funky colors everywhere is great. Good grip, comfy on the inside. Possibly too much cushioning so that you're not actually feeling that much of the ground. Great on, or good on the uphill, slightly sweaty feet, and on the gentle downhills, absolute great fun. However, with that, possibly losing some of the barefoot running technique, developing skills that you would normally get with some of the other Vibram shoes, because these, you can pretty much heel strike with these and you'll be just fine with it. There's so much cushioning and padding, protection going on there that you're not necessarily getting the benefit of barefoot running with these shoes, but they are possibly the most comfortable ones that you could go hill running in, like I just did just there. So that's the short version. Now here's the whole video of how I got to those conclusions. Hi everyone, in this video I'm unboxing a new pair of Vibram V-Train shoes. So I've had quite a lot of non-success with the V-Trail shoes for the last wee while. Just wrong fitting, wrong size, sore sole and stuff like that. And these, so I thought I've been getting fed up with that. Let's try the V-Train. So instead of trail, these are train. These are for more in the gym, and if you're doing CrossFit or some other funky sort of exercise stuff. These ones, definitely a lot more solid than some of my older shoes, and have a pretty serious grip going on in the sole here. So that's, I think these potentially could be used outside on the trails as well. Quite a lot of, they're saying this is for rope work. If you're going to be doing some slack lining or climbing up ropes, that's nice and grippy for it. Yeah, generally the Vibram sticky sole going on here. But anyway, got these in size 44, should be the right size. No, size 45 even. EU size 45. Let's see how they fit and how they feel. And they are very interesting. They've got a solid plastic kind of upper and a strap. That's and laces. So not the quick tying laces, just normal laces. Very different, very different. Let's try them on. Before I put them on, it's already kind of weird because the tongue is actually part of this side here. So it wraps around as a single thing. That's different. Wasn't expecting that. Cool. Ooh, straight away, very comfy. Feels nice. Let's try the other shoe on. If any of you have seen my recent videos where I've had issues with the V-Trail shoes, it's always been a problem. There's been a problem with the I don't know what you'd call this, the inner sole and the side of the shoe on the inside. Here it's definitely different because the sole is higher than the sides of the shoe. So the shoe goes underneath the inner. I don't know the words, I don't know the terminology for these things. So yeah, there's definitely going to be no rubbing going on for the inside of the foot, it seems. Seems like a better design already. So, straight off the peg, as it were, they are feeling like a good fit. They're feeling a little bit tight actually around that bit there. Like whenever I put my foot up like that, I can feel it's kind of squeezing a little bit tight there. But otherwise, time to now sit in the house and see how they feel for the next 20 minutes. So today I am going off to test out my new Vibram 5 Fingers, the V train, as in you're meant to be doing training in them, to train in the gym, to train for your exercises. Not the V trainer, but just the V train, as in you're meant to do exercise in it. It's got a very cool, lots of fun colours, cool shapes, funky grippy bits at the side. It's a mega grip with flexy bits going on, and it's got quite a hard surface on the front. This one's a wee bit interesting in that it's not really minimalist. If we were to compare it to another pair of shoes, before I go out on the actual road, just like straight off, this one's a pretty solid shoe compared to that. If we see just like how easy it is to fold this one up into a nice little ball, easy peasy. But at the same time, if we were to try and fold up the V-train, I can fold up the toes. It doesn't really. It does, but you have to squeeze it incredibly hard. So it's pretty much solid. Again, this one, think about the flexibility of it being squished that way, and same with it going down the way. Very, very flexible, very minimalist going on. This one, try and bend it down the way. It's not. It sounds like breaking stuff on the inside there. It doesn't sound quite. It's not totally minimalist. Again, also on the front, it's got this solid plastic stuff going on here. It's giving it a more structured shape to it, so maybe good if you're running through stuff and it might be hitting your foot. If you're doing skipping, I think this is what it might be good for if you're skipping in the gym and the whip, the skipping rope bit slaps your feet. That may be a bit of protection. It seems a bit unnecessary, and it seems a bit over-engineered in that it's got laces and it's got a fairly heavy-duty Velcro strap, which again, okay, this is an older one. I've worn it for a long time, but this is very soft and malleable. This is a very thick material that they're using for the strap. It seems unnecessarily over-designed. Now, so here's where it gets, the kind of design of it gets a little bit wrong for me, because first of all, the tongue of the shoe isn't actually a tongue. It's just a continuation of the outer as it rotates back in. A bit like a Mobius strip, if you want to be all geeky kind of thing. And it just rotates back in itself, which is, it's kind of cool. However, it does mean when you're pulling it on, and for example, if I put this on my foot and I want to get my toes right in there, I can just pull the tongue and it makes it nice and tight. If I do it with this, it doesn't quite work. It's so rigid as well. It doesn't quite pull it up to get it right in between your toes. Additionally, if you see where this heavy duty strap is, the laces go all the way up underneath it as well. And same on this side as well, which again, once you're strapped in, that is going to be putting pressure. And remember, this is your heel foot, so the ridge, the pointy bit of your foot is going to be there, potentially under pressure from this. Well, first of all, having the strap come back over, but also the lace bit, which is, can't even see it, is underneath, pushing down there. So for me, this just seems to be the wrong way. I would prefer it to be if it was this side going round and curving in, because trying to get what do you call, like this bit, that bit there, the bit that's, don't know how to describe it, that bit is the most pointy bit. That's under the most pressure there, and you can't really loosen it off. So I've now taken the laces down to the next notch, so they're not going underneath the strap. It just seems to be like, oh, let's add laces, let's add a Velcro strap, let's add a plastic bit, let's make it really solid, let's make it funky cool tongue, which doesn't help. So just straight off, it looks cool. I think my personal favor kind of thing, but I think it looks kind of cool. Cool colors, cool grip, but like functionally designed, just over-designed, over-engineered, pointless plastic, pointless laces, pointless strap. Like, I would like to kind of go, don't need the strap, let's just take the strap off, but there is no option. I can take the strap out, but there's no option to take the strap off. And so if I take the laces off, then I have two bits of plastic at the side of the shoe just flapping around, and that just looks a bit silly as well. The material, the actual insole on the inside, is certainly better than the V-Trails that I had. It feels like more like an insole, but it's a proper insole. Again, if we compare it to like the older Vibrams, which were literally just like the ground. The ground. Here it's like a bit of a serious insole, and you feel very padded. And that's so far. But anyway, that's just how I feel about it in the car. Let's go see what it's like when we go for a run up the hill, and see how they feel in action. See how it works. There's a big stone. Yep, definitely gives a good bit of protection from the big stones. In previous videos, where I've talked about when you're walking or running with Vibram 5 fingers, how much more you need to look down the way, look at every stone you're going to be following. There's so much so much cushioning, so much padding that I don't actually need to look down that way that much. So even on ground, which is like stones like these, I can happily stomp my way up here without even worrying a bit. Like normally before, with this kind of ground, I've always like going, ooh, careful, tiptoe, tiptoe. Here, I can pretty much stamp. You should never be able to hear your feet stamping into the ground when you're wearing Vibrams. Well, or put it this way, you can stamp your feet into the ground while wearing these Vibrams because you barely feel anything. Nothing. Here, a little bit of actual running rather than hill walking. Okay, look at that. That's that way. It's a good view. Okay. Just sitting here out the wind to give the uphill part of the review. They've done fine. Let's see the grip. It hasn't slipped on anything. Hasn't been wet though. Well, not too wet. Hasn't been too wet, and not much mud going on. As you can see, the sole's still pretty clean. The laces and stuff definitely feels like it's going to cause a bit of a pressure point going on there. My feet feel quite sweaty inside. I think that may be some of the material that they're using. There's definitely more I don't know what to say, but like I just feel sweatier in my feet. Granted, that is a good uphill that I just did, that I just ran up, so that is going to make my feet fairly hot, fairly sweaty, but I just don't feel anything. Like one of my previous videos that talks about saying that part of the enjoyment with running Vibrams is that the terrain that you're running over becomes part of the enjoyment, part of the fun. With this, I can literally sprint along that path over there without looking at the ground at all. I can have my foot stamp into big, sharp, pointy rocks and not have any, you still feel that you're hitting it, but it's so cushioned that you're not. Like when I tried the KSOs on this hill, and the amount of times where you do the sore foot twinge. the walking downhill, there you go, ooh, stood on something a bit pointed there, and it could just be a tiny little stone there. With these, I haven't had that at all going on. The fit feels good, the size feels good. Haven't had anything slip down the side yet, but that is on the uphill. So now I'm about to go do the downhill, which effectively is that path there, which then goes kind of down there, back down to the ski area, and all the way down to the road down there. So on the uphill it seemed fine. Yeah, the front lights, see my shape, I've got tiny bit of space for the big toe going on there. My second toe is tiny. There's not much moving, but certainly there's no chance of gripping with the toes. So you're just pushing with your toes. No chance of, like, someone say, oh yeah, you should try and grip with your toes. That's me curling my toes. If I curl my toes, my toe goes back in the way. So yeah, it's not like you're not like a dog where you start gripping with your toes and your toenails. But yeah, so uphill seemed fine, but they're as close to trainers. They're closer to trainers than they are other Vibrams. Yeah, I would say these are closer to a big pair of trail trainers than they are to Vibram KSO shoes, which means potentially you could do longer distance. Potentially if you're starting out, it might be an easier way to get into running in these funny type shoes. But then are you really getting the benefit from barefoot running kind of stuff? It's a tough one, but still think they look the coolest. But anyway, the next challenge, downhill. Let's see how that feels now. Oh, here's a little bit. Like, I'm literally running down stuff with stones like this in them, and other Vibrams, not possible. So, well, not without being much more twinkle to them. If I was just sprinting down this without feeling anything, which can be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Depends on how you look at it. That's bad. Like, I'm literally sprinting while trail running in Vibrams. That's not right. I'm going uphill and we're going downhill. feels great, but mental. That's what I call great fun trail running, but my feet feel comfy on that. Very different experience of these Vibrams from other ones. Yeah. Give a final review once I sprint into the bottom. Right, on the very steep downhills, which this camera doesn't show how steep this downhill is. On a steep downhill where you're walking, I'm getting a rub. Let's see, so there's something just about, I wonder if I can put my camera inside my shoe. Right, I'll put the camera in the shoe to show you where the rub is. There is can you see that bit? There. How do I show you? That bit of material there is starting to rub a little bit there. Yeah, it's not too bad, but it is a thing. On the slow downhill walking is where I'm starting to feel it. Too long didn't watch a review of the V-Train shoes. Personally, I think they're overly engineered with pointless additional lacing and all that kind of stuff. They are possibly the comfiest ones that I've had, probably closest to trainers than what they are other Vibram barefoot running shoes. These are closer to trainers than they are barefoot running. Possibly more style than function. You know, funky colors everywhere is great. Good grip, comfy on the inside. Possibly too much cushioning so that you're not actually feeling that much of the ground. Great on, or good on the uphill, slightly sweaty feet, and on the gentle downhills, absolute great fun. However, with that, possibly losing some of the barefoot running technique, developing skills that you would normally get with some of the other Vibram shoes, because these, you can pretty much heel strike with these and you'll be just fine with it. There's so much cushioning and padding, protection going on there that you're not necessarily getting the benefit of barefoot running with these shoes, but they are possibly the most comfortable ones that you could go hill running in, like I just did.